So some major problems that are taking place in Tasmania at the moment when it comes to a COVID-19 outbreak, particularly with its links to Ruby Princess. Before we get to the actual ship, can I talk about your reaction to that outbreak in Tasmania and how you think the system is going to cope?
Look, I think we all knew down here in Tasmania we could see what's been going on in the last week. We're a pretty close-knit community down here, so there was already, I think we already knew this about a week ago. We knew about the outbreaks. So that's been quite difficult, and we were hoping that they would be able to contain that. That has not happened. So I think people were, by Monday or by Sunday, knew that we were going to end up in lockdown.
So how do you think the system will cope? I mean, will everybody in those hospitals be able to be cared for?
Look, mate, I think they're doing everything that they possibly can. They have to move really quickly on this. The good thing is we do have another public hospital about 30 minutes from where I am, so that will suffice for the time being. Look, I do feel for the Health Minister, Courtney, down here at the moment. She has a big job ahead of her over the next 4 or 5 days. I know that they're trying to do everything they can and get that hospital up here cleaned as quickly as possible so they can reopen it. They're hoping within the next 24 to 48 hours at least having the A&E open, and then the rest will follow on from there.
Where would you direct your frustrations towards at the moment, Senator?
Oh, look, I think we've got enough on our plate down here at the moment. Me playing the blame game at this point in time is not going to help any of us. I'm more worried about the economic impact that this is going to have on the northwest coast. I've already seen what it's done to it, and now having this done to us, the small business, mate, and watching them all close up, and can they reopen? I tell you what is breaking my heart, and we're in a really tough economic situation, like I said, and right now I'm too busy trying to work out what I can possibly do to provide or go after to help this situation down here economically. So when we come out of it, you know, we aren't as bad off as where I think we're going to end. So how do we soften that blow towards the end, and what sort of economic assistance do we need down here from the Treasurer?
What is your fears? What is your worst case scenario that you're looking at the moment in Tasmania?
I think for us, mate, for a little community like us, if you don't have those small businesses running, then you have a pretty dead community, let's be honest, and we need them as soon as we come out of this to be able to be reopened. We still don't know whether this is going to be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Those businesses have loans to pay off, they have overdrafts, and their survival for longer that we're in this is going to make it quite difficult. You know, to have a thriving, prosperous a community, you need those little shops and that open, mate. That's the way it is. So right now, while they're trying to deal with us being all locked down, I'm trying to deal with, okay, what's this going to look like in the next 6 to 8 weeks? And what more can I do for the small business in our own backyard? Does that mean more grants? What more breathing space can I possibly do or deliver to them so I can try and get them to reopen when all this is over?
So you think? Do you think restrictions should be eased now, or do you think that there needs to be tougher measures in place for at least a few more weeks before that happens? What do you want?
Oh, no, mate, we're stuck in this. We can't ease anything at the moment, I can tell you right now. We're going to have a revolving door. These health workers are now locked in home. They do have family members with them. It could be, if they've got it now, it could be another 8 or 10 days before that's passed around the family. That's what I mean. This is going to be like a revolving door. This is going to be very, very difficult to deal with, and it's not going to go away with overnight. So I think Tasmanians, especially on this side, we're getting used to the fact we're going to end up in lockdown, and you could see that happening in the last week, the real slowdown of what was going on, people actually staying at home, people actually now starting to fear what is going on. And I think that as much as we don't want to accept what is going on, Northwest Coasters have been big enough to say, you know what, we're in trouble here and we need to stay at bloody home.
Well, just finally, I mean, I know you've got other things on your mind at the moment, but a lot of this did start from the Ruby Princess. There's some calls that a royal commission should take place into what's happened. Would you support that?
I would like to see what comes out of the investigation on that, but certainly if that investigation is not going to do the job and it's not going to get the job done, absolutely it will need to go to a Royal Commission to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. And if it does happen, how best to deal with it, because I don't believe we've done our part very well either.
Who hasn't done their part that well?
I just don't. I don't think with the debacle over the with the Ruby Princess, that the actual country and the politicians have called the shots on that very early on and didn't do the right thing.
The state government, New South Wales state government?
Well, you can blame whoever you like, but somebody needs to take the blame game, mate. Like I said, I've got my head elsewhere at the moment, and I'll let them investigate and see what's going on. I'll watch that from the sidelines, so I can see what's going on, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Senator Jacqui Lambie, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.